Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Interceptor Researches. This time I'm back with another question from my friend D on the very good question of The Legend of Zelda. Now, as we all know, Link is the protagonist of the Legend of Zelda series. And so my friend's like, well, what's up with that? Like, why isn't it The Legend of Link? Basically, the short answer is I think they just like the name Zelda better. They just thought it was cooler. I read in an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto about the naming of Zelda herself, and the reason that the name was chosen was he really liked the name and he was determined to use it. And so if your mastermind really liked the name, it might end up in the title too. It's certainly not without precedent that something gets named simply for sounding cool. Like the Final Fantasy series, there were several different names tossed out, and really, they just wanted something with an FF acronym. They thought it was cool. It was a good alliterative sound. So that's it. So frankly, I think that's why it's Zelda, because Zelda's a cooler name than Link. What I do think interesting about Zelda, and the fact that the series is named after her, is how much she has grown in the series. In the first two games, she's really just a MacGuffin. She doesn't have any lines, certainly not in the second game, she's asleep, but I don't think she has any lines in the first game. I don't know if they even explain that she's actually what you're looking for, because the game doesn't give you a ton of background, and even in the early art, so looking at the Legend of Zelda art and artifacts, looking at the art from her in the first game, she essentially just looks like Peach. Or Princess Toadstool, as she was known back in the day, if you're an old person like me. There was nothing. But she grows so much, whereas Link, for all the kind of different things that he has to do and the different approaches he has to take, there's a certain consistency to his character, whereas Zelda gets to fill a lot of different roles as a princess. And of course, by the time we get to the fourth kind of main console game, Ocarina of Time, she has fully entered into this form, this vision that we know and love, and extremely intelligent, extremely capable. Spoilers here for what she does as her alter ego. And so I think even though she started off not really being anything, Princess Zelda has become the real heart. And she is, of course, the holder of the Triforce of Wisdom, known for being very intelligent, calm, and just, really good, fair ruler. And I think in the Zelda series, we really get to see different parts of that. So let's say, for example, in Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past or A Link Between Worlds, she is much more in a princess sage role. Ocarina of Time, she's more action-oriented. Then we got, most recently in Breath of the Wild, a kind of nerdy princess, right? She just kind of wanted to read and study and learn. Whereas our silent protagonist Link doesn't give us such range or depth. And that's not honestly a critique of Link or of the series. I like, actually, that Link is a silent protagonist. I was not sure how I would feel about the voice actors in Breath of the Wild. I was kind of skeptical. I really like that stylistic speaking that Zelda has. You know, the that kind of talking. Something about the stylized manner of it just really entertains me. I love it a lot. So I was skeptical when Breath of the Wild went to some voice actors, but it still had that same Zelda charm. And I will say that for Zelda, that even as it changes, different art styles, different music styles, different voice, action, keys, like all the things that you can do, as it changes and adapts over the year, it still maintains something that's just a kind of inner Zelda identity that's really wonderful. And so I think it's in some ways very fitting, in retrospect, that the series was named after Zelda the princess instead of Link the protagonist, because the series changes much more in a style similar to Zelda, whereas Link is a little more steady, a little more the same, but in good ways. I really like the series. As I've said before, in my Guilty Gamer of A Link Between Worlds, I'm not actually really good at Zelda games, but I love them. It's a fantastic series, and although I think, again, Zelda was probably just chosen because it's a cool sounding name, Legend of Zelda, in retrospect it really fits because she adapts so much. She brings so much heart to the story, and she's often the one who ultimately has to bring everything together in a way that Link can't. So he helps her out, and he's our protagonist, but I think it really is her story. So that's my 2 thoughts on it, my 2 cents for it, whatever. Thanks so much for your questions. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions that you want me to look into or just talk about for a while. Interceptor Researches does rely on viewers like you, so thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, Interceptor out.